Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tea time. This is the 18,000th time I've recorded this video. I'm going to try to do it fast. I'm going to try to do it accurate. I'm going to try to do it fast. Okay, here we go. We have a lot to cover. First of all, how to inject is a revamped video. It's already been done, but I'm doing it better. And the main reason for that is because I have lost access and benefit from all Tutorial Central videos. So we'll be redoing all the ones that I think need to be redone. And let me know how often you think that that's cool. If you hate it, if you love it, just let me know. That got done. That's already on the things. If you want to watch the How to Inject video to learn how to inject, check it out. Challenge accepted number 2. Small note here. Don't send me replays and tell me how much the replays suck, because that is not... Oh, God. I'm never going to open a replay if you tell me it sucks. If you tell me it sucks, I'm just not going to open it. So... tell me why your replay is awesome. If you tell me anything at all, don't tell me why it sucks. And preferably replay your replays. No, label your replays. Do that, label them, tell me. Just label them. Okay. Depth of micro is after challenge accepted number 2. That was about challenge accepted number 2. This is depth of micro. So depth of micro is a Lush video. We're going to link it here. And it's awesome. I'm going to dissect it, take apart certain parts of it, and put them into multiple videos. So the first video is going to be either moving shot or damage point or something like that. But in any case, it has a lot to do with the thing we're going to talk about later. Challenge step number 3, there will be a vote, as there always is a vote. Let me know how many options you want in this vote for the subject of challenge accepted number 3. Put a number in the comments. If you have a number in the comments and it has no context, it's just like, oh, this is a number. I'm going to assume that that's your vote. And happy Valentine's Day. It is Valentine's Day, and the most importantest thing of all about Valentine's Day is not flowers. It's not chocolate. It's patch notes. It's patch notes. We got patch notes. Let's take a look. Wow. So, here we are with the patch notes. Let's check them out. I'd like to note that these are not patch notes for Heart of the Swarm, but for Legacy of the Void. This is the alpha. This is updates on the alpha. Blizzard is so awesome and being transparent with the things that there can be transparent with, which is great. Thank you so much. Big hearts out to Blizzard. There's so many hearts I have to give for Blizzard today. I might run out of hearts and die, as Link oftentimes does when he runs out of hearts. So resource change, they're keeping it the same. So the resource change from Heart of the Swarm to Legacy of the Void is currently reduce half of the patches by half, which is a total, if you can, half, that's a quarter, so 75% total income per base. And they do it to the gases too, so the ratio is still the same, and that's really beautiful. Pacing of combat is huge. So they cut down the attack speed of all units by 40%, and they altered damage to compensate. So they didn't really like it. They're messing with it. They look like they're going to continue messing around with it, but it's like, it's so awesome. People have been harping on slowing down combat in StarCraft 2 for the benefit of the spectator and for players to allow players to show better skill, more skill for a long time. And Blizzard is trying it out, and that is the main thing. They're trying it out. They're trying it out, and they're letting us know. That's the coolest part about it. They're trying out, and they're letting us know. So we know what's going on, and we can appreciate that our voices are being heard. We're saying things that we want. Blizzard is listening, and they're trying stuff out. This is a new Blizzard. This is awesome. Many hearts go out to Blizzard. See, I just lost another heart. I'm running out. I'm going to have to find a pot somewhere with a heart in it. All right, scrolling down. Scan range. I got up out of my seat, danced around in my apartment for 5 minutes. That's not an exaggeration. That's literally, I checked it. It was about 5 minutes of me dancing around my apartment. Without any music, which I usually dance around in my apartment with music, but without music, because I was just like, oh yeah, it's so awesome. Scan range removes a random element that is currently in StarCraft 2. I'll explain it as follows. This is a Widow Mine. This is a Stalker. A Stalker has 6 range. A Widow Mine has 5 range. If the Widow Mine is detected by an observer, the Stalker, when attack moved, should kill the Widow Mine. However, because scan range is the same as attack range, sometimes the Stalker gets killed. Why? Why does that happen? What is scan range? I'll tell you. So scan range is this thing that every milliseconds goes beep. That's it. Just a circle goes beep. And it checks for enemies. Beep, beep. Like sonar, right? As coming in. And it gets closer as the unit gets closer and closer to enemy units. It comes in. Oh man, it's coming in. But because it's the same range, so this is 6 range. So imagine this is 6 range right here. Beep, there it is. If at like 6.00001 range is when it checks for enemies, if it closes up and moves in, now all of a sudden you're within 5 range. The next minute you check and, oh my god, I'm within 5 range of this unit. But I have 6 range. Why am I not attacking? It's because the scan range value. Now, what you could do to fix this is make units constantly scan every millisecond for enemy units. But that would be super, super draining on the engine. Lag would be everywhere, and people would be begging for LAN, and it would have nothing to do with LAN at all. So, in any case, to make that to do this in a more reasonable way, what we can do is increase the scan range of units that have the same scan range as they do attack range to 1 higher. So that way they detect units before or at, right? Before or at, like, oh, I'm detecting this even though I'm not within range to attack it yet. I'm going to move in and attack it, which is what happens when you target fire. Now, the thing that is lost, right? What are we losing for this? For this decrease in randomness, what have we lost? We have lost the ability, excuse me, for players to differentiate themselves in 1 or 2 unit interactions. When you're doing 1 or 2 units at a time, or maybe 3 if you're crazy, you can do more target firing type stuff, and it makes sense. So in specific scenarios where target firing makes sense, and specifically when you're doing it with 1 or 2 units, you can differentiate yourself by target firing instead of attack moving, and then you show your skill, and that's really cool. We're losing that by doing this because the attack move will be just as effective as target firing in those scenarios. More lubrication for the throat. Don't think that. I know you were thinking. Get out of. Anyway, so what happens is we lose a small amount of time where it's 1 or 2 units interaction, maybe 3 or 4 units interacting. What we gain is consistency for units to interact here. We're gaining the consistency and responsiveness of units in this part of the game, where groups of units are attacking groups of units, and we're making that more reliable. And the main point is we're removing a random effect from StarCraft. And if you're like me, you think, oh, randomness. I don't want that in StarCraft at all. At all. No, nothing random. This is not Hearthstone. This is StarCraft. We want things to be responsive and reliable so that players can show their skill in the majority of situations, which is group unit interaction. And it's not that there's going to be a random effect now in this small unit interaction. It's just no more randomness. This small random thing that is annoying, that causes you to lose your stalkers to Widow Mines, is now gone. So awesome. Because of that, I'm moving deeper into the depth of micro that Lush did, and I'm going to be bringing out other things that he talked about in there, such as damage point and moving shot, and really these different ways that we can make micro more interesting and allow players to show their skill in StarCraft a little bit better. It's really, really cool. I'm so excited about the fact that Blizzard is trying out these things, and they like it. They like the scan range, They tried out this other thing, right? They tried out slowing down the pacing of combat in a particular way. It didn't work out. They weren't really happy with it. They're going to try it a different way. And they tried scan range out, and then they liked it, and they seem to be pushing it forward, and we're going to try it out in beta. I even had an interview, and I talked to them about making Blizzard time or StarCraft 2 time the same as real time, and they said, yeah, you know what? We are going to try that out. People have been saying it for a long time. We're going to give it a shot and see what people think about it and see what we think about it. We're going to try it out. And that has been like the main thing of this balance update that's so exciting, is that they're willing to take big risks to make big changes and try things out. And so many thanks. So many hearts go out to Blizzard for doing that and communicating that with us. It's awesome. So, your voice gets heard. Our voice gets heard. Say stuff that you want, and maybe you'll get it. Huh. The Herc has been removed. Awesome. Another thing. They're down with scrapping stuff that's not working. The Herc wasn't working. They tried a lot of different ways to make it work, and eventually it wasn't working. Then they got rid of it. In a lot shorter time than it took them to get rid of the Warhound. I think, they're not sort of as emotionally attached to this stuff. They're like, oh man, we made this unit, we put all this work into this unit, we don't want to get rid of it, we gotta figure out a way to make it work. No, it doesn't work, you get rid of it, and that's gone. And that's, feels so good. Thor's self-repair ability wasn't interesting at all, so they got rid of it. Great. That's awesome. New Protoss unit is pretty cool. I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's cool that they're messing with the new gateway unit. It moves the gateway up to 6 units, which is a lot from a hotkey perspective, but, it's still not Larva, so that's fine. I don't mind it. Immortal, they're messing with the barrier a little bit. If you're not playing a lot of Legacy of the Void, this doesn't matter to you. It doesn't really matter to me. Tempest, this is kind of cool. They're moving the Tempest back to the slow capital ship instead of this fast, high-range unit, which I think is great. The speed of the Tempest, and combined with the range was like really crazy, really difficult to deal with. Like, it was so quick, and it just felt weird, It just felt like, oh man, this giant long siege unit. Oh, also it's really fast. Like, what? That's crazy. Right? So they got rid of they brought it back to the Heart of the Swarm Tempest, and they removed the plus massive component. Great. Okay. So now it's a little bit less of a hard counter. Great. Moving towards soft counters, away from hard counters. That is good for everyone, in my personal opinion. Okay. And the other thing is they're keeping disintegration. So like, all right, cool. Heart of the Swarm, Tempest, get rid of the plus massive, but give it disintegration, which is fun. Which also means that it'll be attacking air and ground again, like it did before. Nice. Infestor. We don't know very much about this ability. They've been very covert about this Infestor ability. I've tried to wheedle out some information from Blizzard to try to get it into the mod, but it didn't work out. And sort of, okay, that's the way it's just going to be. And they're moving it to the Viper, which means they'll probably get rid of a Viper ability or move a Viper ability over to the Infestor, which is kind of interesting. We'll see how that goes. Not really much to say about it because we don't have enough information. This is really cool, though. We're going to end on this. My favorite thing. Roach Burrow now no longer requires an upgrade, and they're looking to make it more accessible, potentially increasing the movement speed of roaches while burrowed. It would be very interesting if the movement speed of roaches was the same speed as they're above ground. Like, they're just as good at moving above ground as they are underground. Or really crazy, this is something that hasn't ever happened, a unit that moves faster underground than it does above ground. That would be wild, right? So a lot of cool experimentation stuff there. I love Burrow. It's one of my favorite upgrades. I love, it's so versatile. It's so cheap. It's so low tech. I get it every single game. There is not a game that I play unless it's like Six Pool or something crazy that I don't get Burrow. I love Burrow. It's really, really fun and interesting. And I love that Blizzard is pushing more micro. So I'm going to take things from the top really quick to let you know, Legacy of the Void, custom, what we did, what we didn't do. So going back to the top, resource change, no changes, no worries. Slowing down the pacing of combat, not enough details, not in Legacy of the Void custom. Scan range, absolutely, that was in right away, so you can go ahead and play Legacy of the Void custom, LotV custom, unofficial fan alpha, and you can feel what it feels like to have attack moves that are consistent. It is nice. All right, Herc is gone, easy. Thor, that's in the game. Or out of the game, rather. Thor self-repair removed. Easy. We did it. New Protoss unit. Not enough details, so it's not going to be in Legacy of the Void. Immortal. Barrier. Yep. We made these changes. Very easy. Tempest. Yep. These changes are all in. Very easy. Infestor. Not enough information, so we can't do it properly. So we're not. The Infestor says the way. It is. And Roach Burrow move now works when Burrow is researched and no longer requires an upgrade. Excellent. The one question that I have is, what do we do about the increased regeneration while underground? I've asked Sion about this. For now, we're just going to give it standard, so the Roach will just regen more while underground, just like as if it had that upgrade. So basically, Roaches are automatically going to have that upgrade researched is the basic way to look at it. And that's how we're handling it for now. If we get different information from Blizzard, we will adjust accordingly. And that is all. Thank you for tuning in, Hangout, etc. I have been JaKaTak, and I'm still JaKaTak, and I will probably be JaKaTak tomorrow. See you later.